Everything's been feeling good up until this point. So here comes the lawn guy again. If they didn't do such a horrible job, I wouldn't have such a vendetta against these guys. But man, they just do such a horrible job. Anyway, besides the point. We're gonna get down to business. It's 265 on the bar. We did 285 last week for sets of 2. So this is just like, I want to do very appropriate warm-ups getting up to the top. So we'll hit 265, and then I'm thinking a 30-pound jump to 95 and see how that moves for the single. If it moves harder than I'm expecting, then we'll probably just chill there and do our 3 singles at 295. Otherwise, if it feels fine, I'm thinking 305 to 315, depending on how easy it felt. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, just FYI, I decided to stay here just because it feels hard enough for what I'm looking for. I might go up if this one's easier than the first. But as it stands right now, I feel like 295 is fine. So we'll stay right here. One more. All right, guys, last one. Oh, and the weight is feeling pretty good. Surprisingly, I could probably squeeze out 305, but I want to err on the lower side of things than go too crazy. And it's feeling pretty solid. Feels good, especially not having worked with heavy weights like that in quite a while. Because this is what, week 8? No, yeah, week 8. No, 7. Week 7, 5, 6, 7. Counting is hard. So this is week 7, and before this, we did a 12-week block. That was like a hypertrophy emphasis. And so, yeah, it's been a quite a long time since we've worked with super heavy weights, and so it feels good to be able to be within spitting distance of 315 and it not feel too crazy. Because like most things, with enough practice, it comes back to you like that. And we got a conjugate block coming up after this, so hopefully we'll hit some pretty enormous PRs. Anyway, looking too far into the future. But right now, I got the seal row pad up. We're going to go ahead and bring that up to the appropriate position and knock out a few sets of seal rows. We're doing 975 ladder, and I'm going to try and raw grip it again. I'm going to try not to use straps. 5 is going to be awfully heavy, so I might use straps for that, but I don't think I'll use it for the first 2. And then we got incline press after that, so we'll go ahead and get the dumbbells in position and rock and roll. All right, so first up here, we're doing 70 pounds for 9. Again, I'm going to try and keep the straps off. So let's get to it. $80 for 7. We'll see if the grip starts to fail me a little bit here, but even if it does, I'll resort to old reliable. Just grip harder, forehead. Oh. You know, and I had a comment the other day from a friend of mine that, you know, he was asking how much, or how do you know when to use straps when a weight gets too heavy? You know, because you obviously still want to train your grip, but you don't want to be limited by your grip strength either. And the answer is probably way more simple than people think it is, where when you can no longer hold the weight, use straps. So that just means do as many sets or as much load as possible barehanded. And when it comes to a point where, let's say you know, are trying to row 150 pounds on a like cable row for 10 reps, and you get to 7 and you start to lose your grip, and then you stop, obviously, because you can't hold on. That would be the ideal time to use straps. Up until then, barehanded, because you had no problems before, right? Now, here comes the interesting part. You put straps on, and all of a sudden, 150 for 10 is fucking cake. You do 10 reps, no fucking problem. And so you find out with straps on, you can go all the way up to 200 for 10, and you're getting the sickest pump you've ever had in your life. So then the goalpost kind of changed, right? Because it's like, well, barehanded, I was stopping at 150. With straps, I could do 2. So now, what do I do? And in cases like that, you really just want to train barehanded as often as possible. And then when you go to do cable rows, you know, you put straps on, you're only going to use your bare hands for maybe the first 2 warm-up sets, right? But you're also kind of sparing your grip in a way from fatigue, because you know 200 is your working weight. So you're no longer doing 50, 100, 120, 130, 150, you know, and then putting straps on. You're probably doing 100, 150, 180, 200, right? So like the 100 to 150, you could probably still do barehanded because you've only done 1 set prior. So 150, you can probably do barehanded. Obviously, because you're kind of sparing the fatigue, right? And then when you go above, you put straps on. As you get stronger, because again, like straps don't take your grip out of the equation. It just makes it way easier to hold. So even as you get stronger, it's not like your grip doesn't get better. And there's a bunch of other things that you can train your grip on, like RDLs, for example. like any sort of row, pull up, pull downs, anything, man. You just want to try and go barehanded as often as possible. But then when the grip becomes the limiting factor is when you want to put straps on. So hopefully that clears that question up a little bit better. But yeah, even now I'm going to 90, which I know I can hold on to 90 because I can deadlift 500 pounds without grip assistance. So I know I can hold it. It's just a matter of grip endurance. Where can I hold on to it for 5 reps, however long that takes, right? But if I notice that my grip is the limiting factor, you put straps on. That's basically how that goes. And you can't really go wrong with that advice either. So let's go ahead and get to it. Oh yeah, that's heavy. I can feel my grip straining a little bit, but not in a way where I couldn't do all 5 reps. Now, if I was doing like a max, like for example, like 90 pounds for as many as I could, regardless of the weight, even if I was using 50s, I would still use straps. Because when you're doing an AMRAP, the grip, I don't give a shit who you are, the grip is going to give out first. So straps in those scenarios is always beneficial. But anyway, that's it for that. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. I'm doing something a little crazier for rep progression on this incline press. We're doing 1.5 reps, kind of like we did for the goblet squats on Fridays. 1.5 reps, and we're doing 6. And I don't know how hard this is going to be because it's been a long time since I've done 1.5s on a press. So I have no idea how this is going to feel. But we'll start nice and light at 60s and just go from there. So let's go ahead and set that up. There's going to be inclines. There's going to be the same angle as the previous weeks here, so 30 degrees. So let's get after it. 30-degree incline, 1.5 reps, 3 sets of 6. So we start from the top, we come down halfway. Not too bad. I might be able to do 70, but we'll save it for the last set. I might do 65 for set 2. And then see how that feels first. I don't want to jump straight to 70, but we'll see. All right, set number 2. I added my little 5s on here. Woo! I think we can do 70, so I'm going to do 70. Not much else to say. I just know this is going to suck because 65 was kind of heavy. So, but I took a full rest, and by that I just mean the full 90. I didn't go before then. So let's fucking get it because I'm cheating the rest time now. So let's go. Starting from the top. One more. I got it. I'm glad we went up. That was good. Hopefully you guys can see me when I'm knocking both of these out. If you can't, I'm sorry. But we got the same weight on because again we're supersetting everything, and I'm going to try and keep the density pretty high, so rest times are going to be relatively short. And just as a reminder, we're going tricep press down, bicep blaster, hammer curls. So let's fucking go. Reps did go up on this exercise. Doing 9 this time. Oh. Well, it's getting heavy already. Oh. Oh. Ah. Fuck. Whew. And that was the first set, dude. We're fucking cooked. One more. Mostly because I lost count. Oh. My favorite part. The hammers. Ugh. All right, quick break. We got 2 more sets of those. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. Is that 8, I believe? Woo. Four, 6, 8, 9, 10. Oh. Oh. Oh, man. My poor little arms. Ooh. One more, guys. One more. Ugh. Shaking a little bit. Jesus. Ah, that's getting heavy now. Holy shit. One more. Oh. Ah, jeez. Whew. Oh. Oh. Sorry, yelling into the mic. Oh. One more. Oh. Oh. All right, let's go. Ugh. Nice. Well, anyway, I don't really have much to say. Um, I am gonna say one thing though, and that is when I have these tech mistakes where I forget to record the audio, um, let me know if you guys would rather me a voiceover or rather just edit out the talking, which I already do, and just leave the footage with the background music. Because I don't know if y'all even care about the voiceover. Um, and I might do it preemptively this time. It just kind of depends on how it feels when I watch the video back. Because if it's a lot of footage, I'll do a voiceover because I don't want to just cut that stuff out. But if it's just like literally just like a minute or so of footage, or just even a few minutes of footage, like I don't know if I'll worry about a voiceover. But you guys let me know if you care to have the commentary or not, or just see the lifts. Um, Obviously, I once I get into the habit of the whole thing, I'll be able to double check these things and make sure we don't have any tech issues before we start filming. But anyway, um, that's all I have. I'm feeling good. This is week 3. Um, legs are pretty well recovered, so I've just amped everything up in terms of taking care of myself and my recovery protocols and stuff. So, um, with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow at the field, and we'll get after it. I'm feeling really good. And if you guys are training along or, you know, training your own specialty program, whatever that looks like, I hope you guys are feeling just as good and making some good progress in your training. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Adios.